again with the Icon Podcast. I'm super excited to have a good friend and my personal mentor on the show today. Just happens to also be an Icon agent, just like every other guest on the show. So just wanted to say welcome to Dustin, and man, I am super excited to have you on today.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm excited to be here, brother. Love what you're doing. Love the podcast, and yeah, honored to be here. Thanks for asking.
I love it, man. Well, you and I, we've been coaching, what now, 3 months, 6 months? I don't even know. Time flies.
Yeah, about 6 months.
6 months or so. So I'm super excited. I've known you for a few years from a distance, as I say. You were always the guy I saw at conferences, and I think we even spoke at a few of the same places. But with both of our schedules, we always dipped and dived and all over the place, and finally got connected this year. So, and you just joined eXp in the last year, kind of like I did, isn't that right?
Yeah, about 4 months ago, March of this year, March of 2020.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, just like I asked you earlier, like you got so many things going on that even as close as we are, I don't even know all the things that you got going on. So I love the Dustin Runyon elevator pitch of where you live out in the desert and all the other things you got going on, man. Just a little bit of your background.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. I was actually born in Phoenix. I started out in 2008, so I got into the real estate business right at the Great Recession, baby. And so started out doing short sales out in Phoenix with a partner of mine, Kyle Wyloge, and did that for about 4 years, and then moved back to Lake Havasu to run a Keller Williams office. And so I was the team leader there. We grew that. I think it was like there was about 60 million in sales. We grew that to over $500 million. We launched a few locations, launched a property management company, a real estate school, and whatnot. I didn't have any ownership in that, in any of those businesses. So I went off and I actually started over again. I started a real estate team. Okay. During running the Keller Williams, I started a coaching and consulting company that just kind of happened organically. People started to ask me to coach. I got kind of obsessed with psychology. And so I started that company, and then I started over and started a real estate team about 3 years ago. Okay. Yeah, 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago. We did 30 million our first year in sales. I'd never shown a buyer or seller, still haven't. Never went on a listing appointment or anything. And through that, started a land development company where we help manage capital for our investors through helping them build wealth through real estate development. So we do land development, we do building as well, commercial or residential. Also got Ivy RE Tech, which is a data company where we can produce leads for real estate agents across the country. What else we got? Man, I forget. Oh, Lux Locker. We're building RV, boat and RV storage across the country as well. We're in Henderson, Reno, Havasu, Washington, Idaho. So yeah, got a bunch of irons in the fire, but enjoying it, man. Yeah, love real estate.
Kind of like a shameless plug. The one that can probably one of your businesses that's probably most applicable to anybody, no matter where they're at, is Ivy. Ivy Data. I mean, you can pretty well take that to any state, to my knowledge, right? Or pretty fast.
Yeah. Yep. Deliver leads. We have a feature to where you can text Ivy, and we can text Ivy an address, and we text you back the name, number, contact info, email address, all that. We also have a map search where you can draw polygons and you can pull information from a neighborhood. We do batch listings where you can put in 10,000 in there, and we only charge you for successful searches. So, yeah. So yeah.
I love it, man. Well, we were just talking, obviously you moved over to eXp. Your background's KW just like mine. I'm sure you're in agreement. We love our backgrounds. We love everywhere that got us to where we're at. And with that being said, there was obviously something that made you make the jump to eXp. For some people, it's this and that, and everybody's got a little bit of a different reason. So what was kind of like, even if it's not the top reason you're here today, what was kind of like your journey, who introduced you to it? How long did it take you to come over? And then what was kind of like the aha moment? You're like, oh, I'm going.
Yeah, it was, honestly, what made me start to look at eXp, because I was a diehard Keller, and I mean diehard. I was all about it, man. I flew that red flag, and it was honestly a company that was really great to me. I learned a lot through that company. But honestly, I saw a lot of my friends moving over to eXp. That was it. I was like, I'm never moving. I'll never go. anywhere else. And I just saw a bunch of my friends who I really admired and looked up to moving over there. You know, I'm literally through just like Facebook.
Yeah.
And then a really good friend of mine, who's a great friend of yours as well, Kevin Kaufman. Dude's an amazing guy. I think I actually ended up reaching out to him, just asking questions about it. And then it took me a year to move, to be honest. Kevin was talking with me for a year about it. And finally moved over. My aha moment, or what made me decide, truthfully, like I wanted to be on that like cutting edge of something new. Like I wanted to be on there's a million different reasons why eXp is phenomenal. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at the stock price right now, that's that's insane. I think it's up. It's like at $41 right now.
Yeah.
When I got in it, you know, it's $8. I think is my average share price right now. So there's a bunch of different reasons, but I would say just the different avenues for honestly for revenue. You know, whether it's revenue share, one, the stock, two, the company and how innovative it was. You know, I really like to be a part of something that's real entrepreneurial, and that's how it feels over here, man.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Now, you came over for that. Is there anything that since you've been here at the company that you really didn't care about, like, or not that you didn't care about, but you didn't really like, you didn't come over for that reason that you've now seen, whether it was the tech or the rev share of the stock, you're like, oh, wow, that's actually 10 times better.
Dude, the stock right now, like I saw the stock going because I made it to where 5% of our commissions, you know, we purchase stock with it. And then you get stock for a bunch of different other things, you know, your first recruit, your first deal, a bunch of different things. But I'm like, I literally reached out to my director of operations. I'm like, please tell me I've been buying stock this whole time, my 5%, you know? And I had, and it's cool to watch it. They give the real estate agent avenues to retire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rare do you see someone sell their real estate business. It's happening more and more today, but it gives you so many different avenues to build actual wealth through. So that's a big one. And honestly, for me, this is going to sound weird, probably, is our broker. I mean, my director of operations tells me this. I mean, I don't work with her, but she's phenomenal. And it's cool because we live in a small town, and to have a broker of that knowledge who is so responsive. The biggest thing I was worried about was being able to have my team have access to personnel.
Yeah.
And the access is it's almost instant, man. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Well, it's like just before today's call here, it was like I had to jump on and get a question. And usually if I was at KW or any of my past brokers, I like, something wrong with it, but I'd have to go into the office and then they wouldn't be there. They'd be on line hour. And then it's like, well, they're going to come back, and they come back and they shut their door and put their lead generation sticker up on the door. And it's like, wait, how do I get my question answered?
It's so true. And I had a great broker before, but like, it's so true, man. Just the staff and the personnel and everything, like my team has been like, they come to me in the beginning, they were coming to me daily, literally telling us, did you know, I reached out, got this question. Did you know you can do this? Did you know you can do that? Did you know you can just walk up and ask a question, it gets answered? Called the broker the other day, left a message, 15 minutes later, got a call back. So shout out to Holly. She's been amazing.
No, I love that. And like the ticket system surprised me. Like you literally just walk into the world, you take a ticket like the DMV, go jump on your other calls and Zoom, and it pops up on your computer going, you're ready. And it's like, what? Like I haven't ever seen that anywhere.
Yes. And dude, straight being like super transparent. I think we've recruited maybe, I don't know, in the past 4 months, like 10 agents or so. My rev share checks are now, I have a rev share check coming this month that will be bigger than any 1 month check that I got from profit share at KW. And I recruited over 450 agents.
That's insane. That is insane. Well, I mean, in full transparency, people know this from the last few episodes, like, I think my rev share total is at like 10, like really not that much, but I mean, I'm going to pay my mortgage this month with it.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
it's insane. Like, and, you know, and when I was at KW, it'd be like $2. I'd be like, wait, what? Like, and again, that's just the model. So I love that. So tell me, man, like we talk about this a lot, like your coaching is unique. So I'd love to hit on that just to kind of take the episode a little bit different. Like you shook my world up big time when it came to coaching, because I had always been using what we call number coaches, or what I call a numbers coach. What's your numbers? What's your metrics? What's your lead gen? Hammer the phone. If you do more effort, you'll make more money. You'll be happier. You know, kind of that rabbit hole trap that probably every entrepreneur at one time's gone down. So I'd love for you just to explain to the audience kind of what your specialty is and kind of the coaching approach you've taken with me, that while I still struggled big time during some days, like I'm 10 times light years over anywhere I would have ever expected to be in just the last 6 months. I'd love for you to kind of give me the elevator pitch of what your method is, you know, compared to most coaches.
Yeah, well, it's been awesome working with you, dude. Straight up, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I only work with a select few people just because it just time wise, right? But it's been an honor to work with you, and you've been very receptive to things and been very open. But what I believe, it's weird. I started out coaching, and everyone came to me about business. Like that was like their main thing, is they came to me about business. And prior to that, let me actually go back. Let me go back. So I'm 25 years old. I'm, you know, hungry, driven.
Old.
Yeah, 25 years old. Yeah, old for you, right, dude? I was not where you were at, where you're at your age. And I was naive. I was super naive. And I actually came to Keller Williams, and I'm like, I came into this office, and they needed a team leader. And I just kind of started. I was like, I'm just going to pretend I'm the team leader and see what happens. But they gave all the strategies on how to be successful in real estate. Here's what you need to do. Learn these scripts. You know, learn these scripts. Practice these role play these different scripts. Lead generate. Right? Listings, leads, leverage, and they're teaching all of these things, and yet like nobody was taking action. And so I'm naive. So I'm like, I came from a brokerage where we started our own brokerage, which was difficult in its own thing, different story. But we started our own brokerage, and dude, we didn't have anything. Yeah. So here we are at Keller, giving everybody everything they need, and people were still not succeeding. And so I was baffled by it. But I was obsessed. I was obsessed with knowing why do some people take action, why some don't. And so what I came to the realization was, it's not the how-to, it's the psychology, right? And through studying, one year I think I've read a fucking psychology book once a week, every week for 52 weeks, is 80%, 90% of what we do is psychology. 10% is the how-to, right? Most of us know what to do, we're just not doing it, right? Whether that's because we're stuck in our head or stuck in our ego. And so what I came to find out after working with people is how to get their psychology right? And how to get their mind right. And we do that by finding by following our truth, like our heart, right? And so most people came to me for business, and we end up working on them. Yeah. Right. People have an unhealthy relationship with business and have an unhealthy relationship with work. You see people who have like trauma bonds with work, and with, all of their worth is put into what they do instead of who they are. It's put into, their worth is put into whether they're succeeding or failing, or whether they're hitting this metric or that metric. For me, man, in my business, we have numbers and whatnot, but we don't have any KPIs on most anything. I lead with love. Yeah. I just love my people, try to stay connected to my people, figure out what's important to them, what makes them tick, why they're doing what they're doing, and what's important to them, and stay connected. So I really think the more we work on ourselves and loving ourselves, and more we work on following our heart and staying connected to that, the easier it becomes to take action. Because when you're not putting your worth into when your worth isn't connected to your results, dude, you can go as big as you possibly want. Because if you fail, your worth's not tied to it. Yeah. So if you start with building that relationship with yourself, staying connected with yourself, dude, everything else is just a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, today was our first conversation about business between you and I personally, and probably quite a while on one of our coaching calls this morning. And what I realized after the call, you told me today, like, if you can disconnect your worth, there's no reason that you can't go big or go broke type of situation. And it's like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, why would I not put everything I had on the line to make what I want to create? And the only reason I wouldn't do it is if I was scared of how other people would judge me if I failed. And I was like, wait, why does it even matter? Like, why does it matter if other people judge me? And I think a lot of people listening, like we can kind of tie this to the eXp icon, because a lot of people listening in all transparency that are thinking about coming to eXp, they might have an ego, right? Because they might be listening to this icon as a big producer, and they might not make the move because they're too worried about what other people's opinions are. When the company may be a fit for their model, they're just too scared to make the jump. And I don't think that's only to KW to eXp or Remax to eXp. It could be going from eXp to Remax or the vice versa. Like I think a lot of people don't make the right moves for them because of what you just said.
Totally. And even more so, it's like you can go big when you're not judging yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not worried about what you're going to think if you fail.
Well, and I think it's what I found recently, and you might tell me this is kind of backwards or crazy, but like I found too that I'm actually kind of judging myself going, I don't deserve the success if I actually hit that. It's almost like a backward sabotage. It's like, wait, I don't want to make 100,000, 200,000 a month because Justin doesn't deserve that. And it's like, wait, what the heck kind of thinking is that?
Yeah. If that's a belief system, then you're going to subconsciously get in your own way.
You're going to sabotage it.
Yeah, there you facts. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I love that, man. So coming over to eXp, you obviously brought a team with you. I mean, you didn't just come over yourself. Obviously, most people listening to the icon, they're probably big producers. They might be solo agents, but 90+% of them, to my knowledge, are in some type of team format, whether a one-person team with an admin or a big team. How did you approach your team and tell them to move over? Now, of course, you're probably a lot more connected to your team than a lot of teams maybe, just because of the approach you take. But how did that look like? How did you approach them? Does anybody like hell no and left, or did you get full buy-in, or what was that process for you? Because that's obviously a lot of people's concern is I want to make the move. It financially makes sense. It makes sense in my truth. However, I'm scared of what my team's going to do.
Yeah. So for me, I allow my team to be part of almost every decision that we make on this team, period. Like when we move, not only when we moved offices, but when we move into a new building, like, hey guys, I'm thinking about making this move. What are your thoughts? I make them a part of almost every process that we go through, no matter what, because at the end of the day, I work for them. And and that's how I really try to look at it. So when we were looking at the move to eXp, in all transparency, I said, hey guys, this is what I'm thinking. I've been talking to my buddy David Queen. He was a big part of it too. David Queen, he's an agent out in Kingman and in Vegas as well. But talking about with David Queen and Kevin Kaufman, I'm thinking about making this move. Here's why. And I was like, I'm not making the move unless you guys are 100% good with it. And so, Kevin talked with the team. He was really, really good about the transfer, and so did David as well. He was awesome as well. And honestly, after they saw everything, David and Kevin kind of walked everybody through everything. And I was kind of hands off. I let them chat. I mean, they were after they saw everything, they were on board. They were like, let's go. And then at that point, it was like me going like, all right, let's roll, you know?
So you were like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that easy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they saw it and they were 100% on board. And for different reasons, for all different reasons. So it was, and there wasn't a lot of, at the time, wasn't a lot of eXp agents in Lake Havasu. I want to say there was.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because you took a KW office from whatever you said, 60 million to $500 million. So obviously there's a little bit in that small of a community, something about the reputation of the red KW symbol and connected to your name in that community, because you don't take, I don't remember the numbers, but wasn't it like 5% market share that like you jumped to like 60 or 70 every 2 out of 3 homes was KW or something just ridiculous, if I remember right? Yeah, in Lake Havasu, it was like around 30 to 33%. But in Kingman, it was Kingman, Arizona, because we're in Mojave County. In Kingman, Arizona, It was like we were 2 out of every 3 homes, 66%. Yeah, that's crazy. So for someone that thinks that their brand, the brokerage matters, you know, and obviously different markets have different, you know, styles on does the brokerage matter, does it not? But like, what was your thought process on that? Because it had to have gone through your head of going, I'm at a brokerage that's got 66% of the market, and I'm about to jump to a brokerage which probably at the time had 1%, maybe not even 1%. Yeah, not even 1%. Yeah. And so like what was the, you know, you're not one to have very many limiting beliefs, but I got to imagine naturally, instinctively, there was something that was like, is this smart?
Yeah.
Like, so the people thinking the same thing.
Oh, I got them. I got limiting beliefs like all of us do. You know, I work through them. You know, I got coaches, so 100%. So I was flying that flag big time throughout the community and even the county, and it was kind of like, well, hey, you told us this was the place to be. This was the place to be. This was the place to be, and you've been riding for it for 5 years, and now you're saying now you're switching. You know, there is that part in the part in the brain that goes, yeah, how are you going to look, right? And after working through it just with myself, I came to the conclusion, much like living your truth, like when you're authentically, genuinely yourself, you're you. And I know those are buzzwords, but no bullshit. Like you live your truth and you are you. The people in your life that aren't supposed to be in your life are going to leave.
Yeah.
Right? I always say your growth sometimes and your truth may bring out the emotional immaturity in the people around you, and sometimes the people that you hold the dearest to you. Yeah. And so much like that in life, in business, when I said, you know what, if this is the move that I want to make here, I want to. I've seen it all, talked to the people, I want to make this move. If I make this move and people are upset about it, those people were never really in my life anyways. If my friendships are predicated on where I work or predicated on what brokerage I'm at, then that's not really that strong of a friendship at all anyways. Yeah. So when I came to that truth, you know, when I make the move, you know, the people that have something to say about it, I mean, they were really never there anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, once I came over, and honestly, there was a lot of things that I thought were going to happen that just never even happened, right? Isn't that what like worrying is, right? We worry about 90% of the things we worry about never even happen. So a lot of it, more than anything, I moved over and people were like, dude, tell me about this company. I know you don't just make decisions, quick decisions like that, you know? And so it created a lot of conversation, created a lot of good chats, and we were able to get some agents over because of it.
I love that. So what would you say is like, you know, you didn't have to pitch your agents really based on the format that you know, in the decision making, but for a team owner, like what were the biggest benefits that you tried to get your team to understand, you know, even if it was a little bit more on the financial side, you know, or the rev share side or the stock side, because obviously when you jumped over, it was kind of all an unknown, right? You knew about revenue share, you kind of knew about stock, but so when you're in that moment of not knowing everything about the company since you weren't over, like what were you telling your agents, you know, that could benefit them if they, you know, trusted the process?
Yeah, right off the bat, right off the bat, for some of my agents, it was just cheaper. Yeah. Like it was a smaller cap, right? Mm-hmm. For others, it was the rev share. So for my so I'm director of operations, but for my team leader on the team, I mean, she was like, dude, this rev share thing, it's like, I mean, it's legit. Because what was cool is the people that we were talking to about this were super transparent about what they were receiving and what they did and what other people, I mean, people were just so transparent, man. They just pull up their thing and just show you, you know, in the eXp system, it'll show you what you're getting that next month. Yeah. So for her, it was rev share. For my operations, it was the stock. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what got them over. And then for some of my other agents, they just loved that it was like this technology company that was entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. And was really trying to push the envelope, going more cloud-based, more of where we're at right now with this whole COVID thing. I mean, what better company to be at?
No, I love that. And a lot of teams like have physical office space, like they maybe might have like a mega agent office or whatever they call it within their company. Like, how did that work for you guys? I know a lot of teams that are looking about making a move. They're like, well, we have to have physical office space, which, you know, while a lot of eXp agents don't have a physical office space or they use like a Regis in their area, like you guys probably don't have a Regis in Lake Havasu.
We don't, dude. What's funny is we moved buildings, so we completely moved everything. And well, here's what else I will say. I thought I had never moved offices before, right? Never moved a team from an office to another office before. And I thought it was, and I've moved a lot of teams to Keller Williams, you know, and I thought it was going to be 10x as hard as it was. And it was, dude, It literally was like 2 days. We're moved in, done, and we're back to business. Like it literally, we put stickers on our signs. We put eXp stickers on the signs. Dude, we didn't even get new signs. Changed all the logos out in 1 day. And in 2 days, it was like nothing even happened. We're business as usual. But we have an office space here, and what's crazy is it's cheaper than what we were paying at the KW office. So we had an office there. We have an office here. We like the place to where we come in. And yeah, our during COVID, I mean, we've had people who've worked from home a lot. Productivity, if anything, has increased. But yeah, we do have an office space, and we just changed offices.
No, I love that. I love that. And part of it, I mean, you said it, you hit it on the head, is it is cheaper for a lot of team members, especially like there's a different cap rate too. Like I know it's not even just the cap itself, you know, they cap slower, which sounds weird, but you cap slower at eXp, which puts more money in the new agent's pocket per deal.
Totally. Especially when you have a brand new agent who's coming on, right? And you know, they may go a while without a check. So once they get that, they want that full check. And at my other office, they wouldn't.
Hey guys, Justin Nelson again with the Icon Podcast. I'm super excited to have a good friend and my personal mentor on the show today. Just happens to also be an Icon agent, just like every other guest on the show. So just wanted to say welcome to Dustin, and man, I am super excited to have you on today.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm excited to be here, brother. Love what you're doing. Love the podcast, and yeah, honored to be here. Thanks for asking.
I love it, man. Well, you and I, you know, we've been coaching, what now, 3 months, 6 months? I don't even know. Time flies.
Yeah, about 6 months.
6 months or so. So I'm super excited. You know, I've known you for a few years from a distance, as I say. You were always the guy you saw at conferences, and I think we even spoke at a few of the same places. But with business, in terms of making sure that you're staying sane, you know, your energy's high, and just living your best life.
My intimate relationship with Lee. 150%. Yeah, making sure that every day that I make that the number one priority, and I make our love, me falling in love with her every day. I just make that number one, because that, and then before that, I would tell you, making sure I'm taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I love that. No, you definitely, that's one that you've taught me, is like, you first, everything else will fall into place. And you first, everything else will fall into place.
I spent so many years pouring from an empty cup, man. I was killing the goose that was laying the golden eggs for everybody. I was making sure everybody else was good, taking care of everybody else. And, you know, it's hard to pour from an empty cup, even if on the outside you look successful. And so, you've got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So then there's more of you for everybody else.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, now, so some people might be listening to you from Lake Havasu, because they, you know, they're like, what's this whole Icon agent thing? Is it even worth listening to? You know, so kind of tell me a little bit about like how people are partnering with you, because people listening to this could be in a different state and want to partner with you because they love your energy, they love what you got going on. So I'll obviously have your information below, but talk to me a little bit about, like, you probably are partnered with people that aren't even in your own state or probably your own city sometimes, right? Like, allow you to partner with other people that aren't in your local location, and if so, can people do that with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. You know, we have a cool group over here at eXp, and like, I've got tons of partners in eXp, and it's crazy because everybody's a part of this. Like, there's nobody. You know, at your old brokerage, like you would call the staff, or you would call you call the broker, you call the team leader, right? I just call my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At eXp, I just call my friends. Yeah. I'm just like, yo, I'll throw something off the wall with them, or I'll ask them. You know, the other day, David Queen, I mean, he got on the phone with 3 of my agents to help them sign up for the 5% to take 5% out of the commission, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, listen, if you're looking to get in an eXp at any level, reach out. I'll show it. I'm not a pushy guy. I'll show you what it is that they offer and what it's done for us. And yeah, we're not only we're looking to partner in eXp, but we're looking to partner on our team. As I shared with you, we're in Washington, Idaho, Vegas, Henderson, Reno now too. So if you're in any of those areas, let me know. Reach out.
I love that. Now, kind of last question as we wrap up here. What would you say to the agent that's listening now but hasn't actually like either watched any of the eXp explain videos, or like for someone like yourself that had probably been hit up quite a few times about eXp, when you weren't ready to even take a look at it? What would you say to those people that haven't even taken a look at it? Like what's their next steps in your opinion as someone that's like, how do I explore this? And what was kind of your process through that?
Yeah, I would just ask the question, like, what does it hurt to take a look? Mm-hmm. Like what could, if you take a look and you don't like it, then you don't like it. I always say, for me, I'm always looking for different investments and different ways to opportunities, right? Always looking at opportunity, always. And so it doesn't hurt to just take a look. And so the first step, reach out to me, or if you have someone that you already know, like you have someone that they're in the business and that they've moved to eXp, reach out to them. Yeah. Just reach out and ask, hey, I want to learn a little bit more about eXp. Cool. It doesn't mean you need to make a move today. It doesn't mean you need to make a move in a year. But get educated on it and get the facts. I think that's coming out more and more with eXp. In the beginning, people had a bunch of different things, including myself, that had to say about eXp. But I mean, once you get over here, you see the truth, and it's crazy. It's
I love it, man.
Sorry, people talk about the stock and like this being like, oh, this company is a stock. It's like, yeah, well, so are some of the other biggest companies on the face of the planet.
Yeah,
public companies, right? What's cool is we actually own a piece of this.
Yeah,
like, right? It's not, we don't share profit that you can fudge on the books.
Yeah,
it's like you're not allowed to fudge you're not allowed to fudge books when you're a public company.
Yeah, you're not allowed to fudge with the SEC. Obviously, I mean, coming from brokerages before, I got to see firsthand, and I knew a lot of the bookkeepers. Like I knew the people that actually wrote the books, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we erased that." I'm like, "Wait, what? You erased it? I don't understand. Like that doesn't fly with the SEC. The stock commission. You can't erase your financials or fudge them to make your profit lower or higher." So
yeah.
I guess you could, but you're gonna be in jail.
Yeah, like it's real. I actually own stock. Like I have stock in this company because I work at this company. Like it's real.
What I love about it is like with an icon team like your guys' self, you guys get stock, right? So you get some form of stock. You guys are a mega icon team to my knowledge because of your team structure. Like the company gives you stock back. Yeah. And what's nice about that is even if it goes down, you still have stock. Like there's still it's going to be rare that the money would ever go to zero. Like
here's a fact. So I paid what the cap is, I think 16,000.
Yeah,
I paid that into the company. The company has given me that back more than that back already in the 4 months I've been here in rev share and in stock.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I've been paid to work here.
That's insane. That is insane. I think a lot of people too, like they may not be at the place yet where they can get icon, but even if they're not there yet, like it's a place to where you can still earn stock even if you're doing 2 deals a year. Like most people know that I don't really sell homes anymore. I mean, I do on the side, but I looked at my stock account the other day and I was like, wait, what? I have how much stock? I haven't even sold I don't think I've even sold. Yeah, I've sold 2 homes in 2020, or maybe I don't even know, man. Like it's something like ridiculously low. I was like, wait, I have that much stock? Like that could change anybody's life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It is. And I know this is so cliche to say. It's so cliche. The only thing I just wish I would have done it sooner. And I know that's cliche to say, but a belief is a poor substitute for an experience. Yep. And once you have an experience, it changes your belief. And so I just wish I would have done it sooner, and I wish I wouldn't have let the pride get in the way.
Yeah. No, I think for me, I wish I would have looked at it sooner. Like I always said, I'd look at it. Like even Kevin Coffin and Fred Weaver took me down to Arizona, and I sat in the presentation, but I was sitting there texting the entire time. Like I wasn't paying attention. Like I wish I would have just looked and took a pencil to pen and went, oh, that does make sense.
I mean, David Queen came to me at a team leader, and he was like, he basically was like, how profitable are we? He was part of our ALC.
Yeah.
And so he goes, how profitable are we? And I showed him and everything. He goes, if we were to move over to eXp, the entire office over to eXp, that the owner of that Keller Williams would be more profitable than we are here at Keller Williams without any risk. Like without any, without any, any leases, any, building leases, any overhead, anything like that. And I was like, oh, no. I kind of blew him off. And then I stepped out of the team leader role. He ended up moving over to eXp and I just followed him.
I love it, man. Well, your time's valuable. The listeners are, they're super thankful as I am today for you jumping on. So I appreciate you coming on, man.
I love what you're doing, man. I love that you're doing this podcast. It's so rad to see you get some top talent out here. I'm honored to be asked to be a part of it. And so I appreciate you, man. I appreciate what you do for our industry as well.
I appreciate it, man. Well, with that being said, guys, signing off from the Icon Podcast, as always, interviewing the top 2% of eXp. And until the next episode, have a great week.